This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
We might be the master of our own thoughts. Still, we are the slaves of our emotions. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I am so glad that you're here with me today. I am encouraged that you are here. I'm overjoyed. I'm grateful that you are here with me today. And I want to just put out all kinds of good emotions for you because I think it's super important that we listen to our emotions. You know, the self-love journey that I've been on, the self-empowerment journey, this personal development journey that I've been on over the last few years has really taught me to really dig into my emotions and listen to them. We might be the master of our own thoughts, but we still are the slaves of our emotions. And I don't know about you, but when I feel a certain emotion, it just overwhelms me, like in a good way and also a bad way. Your emotions come from the way you perceive the world around you and alerts you to your perceptions. This alert is the message of the emotion. Once you learn to acknowledge the emotion and the message, you empower yourself to question the validity of the message and choose how you want to respond to it. And today I want to share with you just a few emotions and what they mean and how you can respond differently. Because I don't know about you, but when I get approached with something and my initial gut reaction is to launch with a certain emotion, that tells a lot about my character, my personality, my ability to respond to things, and just who I am as a person. And same with you. So let's kind of dive in. And if there are things that you come across, the different emotions that you come across that you're like, you know what, I'm not really sure I like myself when I feel this way or then I act this way, then this will give you an opportunity to learn about yourself, figure out what your triggers are, and to maybe figure out how to respond differently. So let's listen to our emotions. When you experience bitterness in your life, it shows where you need to heal, where you are still holding judgments on others and yourself. And so like for me and myself, like when I think about sometimes a relationship with my dad, or I think about certain reactions or situations that have happened here in town with certain people. I remember, for instance, I got my car fixed one time and I really felt like the guy that fixed our car did a poor job because it wasn't fixed and I had to go back. But then he also made me pay for the second set of repairs. And I was like, well, what about the first repair that you didn't? I still have bitterness in my heart for that man and I don't go back there. So lesson learned, right? But I still need to show, when I think of that person or I think of that situation, or even sometimes when I see that person in town, this sounds so silly and stupid, but when I see that person around town, I think I have that bitterness in my heart that shows up. And it's obviously my emotions telling me that I need to heal from that spot. Where am I still holding judgments on others and myself? And how can I get past those things? So it's identifying right there, that's something that I need to work on. Resentment shows that you are living in the past and not allowing the present to be as it is. If you are resenting your life, resenting a situation, resenting a relationship with someone, resenting something in your life, you're living in the past. You're holding on to a story that doesn't have to be your future. And when you can let go of that and allow your present to be the present and make a different choice in the future, life gets a whole lot better. Discomfort. It shows that you need to pay attention right now to what's happening because you're being given the opportunity to change, to do something different than how you typically would do it. So if you're uncomfortable, a lot of times I say when you get outside of your comfort zone, you're right in the edge of change, right? When you get uncomfortable, you're pushing yourself past what you know is what you always would do, and then you can grow from that experience. So discomfort shows that you need to pay attention right now to what's happening because you are given the opportunity to do something different, to make a change in your life and to become a different person. So this is going to be a good thing and a bad thing, but I really always look at it as a good thing in a lot of ways. Anger. Anger shows you what you're passionate about, what your boundaries are, and what you believe needs to change about the world. When I think about certain angry situations, like you can get super passionate about something when someone challenges you on something that you really love, or that you are just, this is kind of your ride or die. Like you can have anger around that. Like you're mad that they don't believe the same thing that you believe, or that you can really get defensive around an area. And so anger shows that you're super passionate about something. And then that also shows where your boundaries are. Who are the people that are in your life and not in your life, and why your belief needs to be around things. Disappointment shows that you are tried for something and that you did not get what you wanted, right? But that you still care. Disappointment, I often think too, is unmet expectations. So I expected to be able to be this far by now. I expected that this relationship would work out this way. I expected that I would be able to have achieved this so far. Disappointment is the unmet expectations in the world. So a lot of times we put our own we put on expectations, unfair expectations on other people. Sometimes we have expectations that others don't live up to, and that's really unfair. But when you can you can think about things for yourself. When you think about disappointment, it shows that you've tried for something. It means that you've attempted to get somewhere. So like if I've been working on, say, weight loss, or if I've been working on a certain goal in my business and I don't quite get there, that's on me. And I have to figure out what it is that, I'm going to keep doing to keep reaching for the goal. And it also shows that I care about that goal, that it really mattered to me that I didn't hit it, or that I can continue to go for it. The next one I have for you is guilt. Guilt helps you understand the person that you do not want to be. It gives you the opportunity to forgive yourself in order to move on. Guilt is one of those emotions where you feel guilty for not showing up. You feel guilty for not being there for a friend. You feel guilty for you maybe not doing something that you said you were going to do. And that matters to you because you want to be that person. You want to show up in those values, but yet you didn't for some reason. And so that is an opportunity to forgive yourself and an opportunity for you to move on in a better way and make better choices next time. Shame is an interesting emotion because it shows that you're internalizing other people's beliefs about who you are and what you should be. And that needs to really, is a kind of an eye-opening one, because it's really where you can really reconnect with yourself. And really thinking about shame is where you're taking in other people's thoughts and beliefs about yourself. And when you really focus in on who you are and you really focus in on whose you are, you can really learn that shame has nowhere in our hearts and minds. And if you're feeling shame, that's a red flag to think about, like, where are your expectations? Are you trying to live up to someone else's expectations and then you feel disappointed because of it? Or are you trying to measure up to someone else's measuring stick that shouldn't even have a vote in your voice or a vote in your life? When you are experiencing shame, you're putting your thoughts and your words and your experiences in other people's hands. You're kind of giving up your power. So shame is definitely one that if you're experiencing a lot of it, I would really take a good look at what it is that's going on in your life and where can you refocus on yourself? Where can you let go of what other people think and what other people are doing and really focus in on what it is that you want to achieve, where you want to go, what God has designed you to do in this life? Because like I've always say on here, every single time I talk about how God has created you for a unique individual purpose. We're all given our own path for a purpose, for a reason, and we're all made unique for his good, right? And so if you're trying to put yourself into other people's shoes, if you're trying to live out other people's dreams and purposes, you're going to experience some shame in this life. And it's really good indicator to kind of get back in your lane and focus on what God made you for. The last one I want to talk about is sadness. And this, we've been talking about a lot of kind of Debbie Downers, right? Like sadness, shame, guilt, disappointment, anger, discomfort, resentment, bitterness. But when you really think about these kinds of emotions, it's just kind of like that bumper in the bowling lane that kind of keeps your ball in the middle, right? We want to be able to keep ourselves aligned with joy and happiness. But when you are feeling sadness, it shows that the depth of your feeling and the depth of your care for others in this world. There are a lot of us that really try to focus on the positive all the time. You hear me talk a lot about living in gratitude, living in joy, finding the good in everything, right? But when you can feel sadness, you know that the depth of your feeling, and it's kind of that pendulum swing of life. So in order to feel great joy and great happiness up here, to have the highest of highs, you have to swing through to the other side and also experience the highs and the deep sadness that there is. And when you can experience that, you only get to experience the really goods when you experience the really bads. But the positive thing is that when you're focusing on good and you're focusing on, and you can course correct yourself with the feelings of shame and guilt and disappointment, anger, and you can course correct in those situations, you're going to swing the pendulum back to the other side and you're going to experience better highs, bigger highs, more joy, more passion, more amazingness in this world. And so if you're listening to your emotions and you're getting course corrected, and you can course correct yourself from from the negative to the positive, that's where you're going to have a lot more fun and a lot more joy in this world. So hopefully today, one of these little things helped you. I would like to encourage you to not fight your emotions, but to listen to them, make peace with them, forgive yourself and others for the things that are going on in your life, and really learn to listen to those emotions so that you become the person that you want to become and not the person that you're just happen to be because you're reacting to situations that are happening in life. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to know more about Choose to Rise, head over to choosetoriseup.com. You can connect with me there. You can tell other people that Choose to Rise is the best way to help the podcast grow, and share it on social media. Tell other people about it. Encourage others to listen, and make sure you subscribe, because we come out here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday with a new episode, and I can't wait to have you back here again next time. Thanks so much for joining, and have a good one.